the hottest team in baseball, an absolutely sensational performance.
It was one to remember last night in the East Bay. But today, it's a new day, and the Athletics want to make a statement to the American League Elite, win the series, finish the homestand strong, start to play some consistent baseball, and make some noise in this 2018 season. Final game of the homestand, final game of the series. A's, Red Sox, next. Beautiful day for baseball at the Oakland Coliseum. It is the rubber game of the series. It's the Oakland A's and the Boston Red Sox coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, we'll get to today's very important game in just a moment, but how can we not want to talk about what happened last night, Ray? It's a no-hitter, just does not happen very often, and when it's one of your own guys that does it, it just makes it extra special.
But especially somebody as special as Sean Manaea, such a great kid. Great numbers. The crew did a great job putting that graphic together. 108 pitches. How about a 2-hour and 16-minute ball game? That's what happens when you throw strikes. And oh, by the way, you joined Don Larson, the only pitcher ever to pitch a perfect game of the World Series, both from Indiana. That's pretty special in itself.
Indeed it was, and we were all a little bit nervous, including Dallas Braden, who's standing by downstairs. But Dallas, the young man, pulled it off.
It was, guys, it was amazing. I was down here, I could barely breathe. At times I feel like I'm closer to home plate than the starting pitcher was, and I could feel every bit of the emotion pouring out of Sean Manaea. I could feel every bit of the emotion overwhelming the fans behind me when he came off the mound in that 8th inning. The double fist pump, the scream, the fans behind me were losing their mind. I had to calm down. I was checking my pulse. I'm just barely recovering today, boys. I can't wait.
All right, we won't overwork you today then, Dallas. You can enjoy this one. Now, today, Daniel Migden and David Price, that's the pitching matchup. And as we said, rubber game of the series. And I think this is a big game, Ray, because you have a chance to win a series against a good team, get to 500, feel good going into the road trip. So this is a big one.
And also, Daniel Migden picked up his first ever win at the Coliseum in his last start. So he's got something to build on as well. But to your point, 500 is a key. If they can take off on the road, winning the series and getting to 500 would be outstanding for the Athletics.
All right, and that road trip coming up starting tomorrow, and it's a 9-gamer. So indeed, a little momentum maybe if the A's can win the series today over the Boston Red Sox. A's, Red Sox will have lineups and first pitch right after this.
Let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family. Only at Jack in the Box.
Well, Daniel Migden is finishing up his warm-up tosses, and we are just about set for Game 3. Final game of the series, final game of the homestand. Let's take a look at the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. It's open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. Nice day, 73 degrees. Kind of a hazy day, but very comfortable to watch a ball game. Let's take a quick look at the Boston Red Sox lineup, and here it is. A little bit different with Bradley, Benintendi, Martinez, Moreland, Devers, Swihart, Holt, Vasquez, and Lynn. That's your Red Sox starting lineup. And that group will face Daniel Migden, who is poised and ready for the first pitch of the game. And here it is. And it's outside to Jackie Bradley Jr. 107 first pitch.
107.
Well, the one thing Daniel Migden has to do, and we'll talk about Sean Manaea whenever he makes his next start, and that is to build off the previous start. And Migden had a good one against the White Sox.
So you're saying Manaea needs to just get a little bit better in his next start?
Well, yeah, don't walk the leadoff hitter.
That's right.
I mean, just go for the perfecto. Now you got the no-hitter. First ever complete game. And what does he do? Pitches a no-hitter. But pitch count was unbelievably low all game.
So 2-1 to count. Umpires today. Adrian Johnson calling balls and strikes. Trip Gibson at first. Brian Gorman at second. Hunter Wendelstedt is at third.
Okay, but I thought Eddie Montague, the umpire supervisor, did a great job at explaining the play at first base last night.
He's our go-to guy, man. Ed Montague. We love Eddie. He's a super nice guy. And when we have any questions about a call or rule, anything, he's very open with us, and he explains it great.
Tells it exactly like it was or is, depending on situation. But he said that was the correct call last night.
Yep. We asked it was about the Benintendi call at first base. It's pretty simple. 3-2 pitch, and it's lined to right, and that's a base hit in front of Piscotty. So that's how the ball game starts.
Well, for Daniel Migden, first hit, first batter. Last night it was a walk, leadoff walk. But for Daniel Migden, as we mentioned in his last start, he won his first ever game here at the Coliseum. He's 2-0 last two starts. He threw 106 pitches in the last start. Went out for the ninth inning. Gave up a home run to Abreu, and then came out of the game. So 8+ innings for Daniel Migden. And that was a great outing considering the previous three he had gone the max of 5.5 and 2/3 innings. And he went 8+ in his last start and just getting better and better. And got you think back whenever he got hit on the foot. You figured he's going on the DL, stayed in the game, and here he is still going.
Keep an eye on Bradley.
One thing to pay attention to with Migden, guys, something I picked up on last time out. We see him in the stretch now, obviously, but was his ability to disrupt timing and alter his delivery and use multiple deliveries.
Quick throw to first. Migden has faced the Red Sox one time in his career. It was a couple years ago, 2016. That's the year he made 14 starts. And got knocked around a little bit by the Red Sox here at the Coliseum. And again, that was 2 years ago. Swinging and a miss. So Benintendi is the hitter. Here's the A's defense. Pinder, Smolinski, and Piscotty in the outfield. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, and Canna, with Bruce Maxwell doing the catching. So a few changes today.
You know, Bruce Maxwell catching today, but the oddity of last night, it was supposed to be Maxwell catching last night, Lucroy today, and they made the change right at the end. Matter of fact, Sean and I said he was talking to Maxwell about the hitters, and then it came up and said Lucroy's catching. So it was one of those games that first ever for Lucroy to catch a no-hitter. And of course, for Sean Manaea, the pitch did not shake off Jonathan Lucroy one time last night, not once. So congratulations to the big man. He can relax for a few days now before he makes his next start.
When I think that's an interesting point there, an interesting bit of information, and I think that speaks to the maturation process we're starting to witness from Sean Manaea as a starting pitcher, knowing that you've got a catcher that you're gaining a scouting report on, and that gets flipped on you. You've got to do your job and know that you're responsible for this lineup here for these hitters.
Well, this is interesting, guys.
Very interesting.
Yeah, Migden's been keeping a very close eye on Jackie Bradley. And after the last throw to first, Scott Emerson immediately popped out of the dugout. And I would love to have heard that conversation.
You know, it seems to be also, it seemed like Emo got in between Maxwell and Migden. So maybe there's a little bit of a concern about pitch calling, whatever, I don't know. And you know, pitchers have an idea, but it's a matter of a lot of times you want to have the 100% conviction when you throw the pitch that that's what you want to throw, and that's what was special last night. And even to the point that Sean Manaea told one writer, he says, you know, I'm accustomed to being out on the mound, just what am I going to throw here? What do I want to throw here? That was eliminated last night.
Sure.
And whenever you can look in and you know, whether you're sure or not, but if you go with the catcher, that's going to bode well for, especially for Sean Manaea in the future, to say, you know these hitters, you have the book on them. I'm out here every 5th day. You're there every day. And I think that's going to be something that's going to help him long term. No hitter, yes, but just relying on his catcher first and foremost.
0-2 to Benintendi, which is high. J.D. Martinez waits in the on-deck circle.
Well, remember when the Red Sox came to town, of course, J.D. Martinez new to the club, but also the fact that the Red Sox had scored 18 first-inning runs. They did not score in first on Friday or Saturday. The A's scored first, but you know, you have to be concerned about the first inning. You do not want to help the pitcher, in this case David Price, before he takes the mound for the first time.
That one is drilled toward left center field, but Pinder over a little bit, kind of hung up. All right, so this is the play we were talking about that we had a chance to speak with Ed Montague about. That when it was all said and done, it certainly looked like the umpires got the play correct.
Batting in the 3rd position.
And Ed just said, listen, it's very simple. A runner has 3 feet to either side of the line that he can go. If he goes outside of what an umpire looks like 3 feet, then he's out of the baseline and he's out. He said it's 3 feet either way.
And when Benintendi took that immediate right, he tried to avoid the tag. It put him out of the baseline.
No question.
To beyond the 3 feet on the grass, but the grass is immaterial. That lane, the line, the whole thing. But the bottom line, when he tried to avoid, and I thought also because runners, let's say first to second, I said, Eddie, do you not create your own base path?
Yeah.
He said, yes. However, he says you could be in the outfield grass going to direct line to second, and there's your path. But if you try to avoid a tag, it takes you out of the 3-foot lane. It's an out. Gotcha. It's automatic. So he said that part, which I thought his explanation to you was spot on.
And I asked him too. I said, what about the double white line going up the first base line, which in this case, if you're running from home to first, it's on the right side. You see it there. He said, no. He said that's. He said that I don't even know what that's all about. But it's basically that doesn't have anything to do with what happened last night. It's the umpire's judgment of was he further out than the 3 feet limit, and the umpire said, yeah, and it certainly looked like he was.
And if you take that lunge to avoid, you're going to go beyond 3 feet.
And it doesn't, again, we're just trying to cover all of this because it was an important play. But it doesn't matter if you're avoiding the tag or anything like that. You can go 3 feet either side, no more. And he, as you said, he did say that there's no question that it was the right call when it was cleared up. Pitch is hit toward right down the line, foul territory. Nobody's going to get it. And of course, this was a official score decision. Since at that point there had not been a hit yet, the official score thought that was an error. And
surprising thing, and Not afraid to say he scores a lot. Art Santo Domingo. I asked him, I said, it's going to be a hit later. He said, no, it's an error all the way. I said, what? I said, that's not a clean hit. He said, he stopped. I said, Art, his back was to the infield. That's not a normal routine play. But that was his understanding. He felt it's going to be an error. And you know, when Sean and I came off after the 8th inning, his comment was, why is everybody so excited about a one-hitter?
Yeah, he thought that
it was a hit.
You know, I talked to Alex Cora, the manager of the Boston Red Sox, today before the game, and I asked him, and I said, AC, what do you got on the Simeon play? And he said, and I quote, gotta have it.
Yeah.
Gotta have it. And so that lets you know from a man who played in the middle of the infield for 10+ years at a high level, those are plays you gotta have.
1-2 pitch, and that's a swing and a miss. J.D. Martinez strikes out.
Now, Dallas, I can understand, but it's not a clean hit. But it's got to be reversed. And here's a good fastball from Daniel Mingden. It's challenged him, as we have seen in this series. 92-93, the challenge fastball for J.D. Martinez. Let's not forget also that he did sign late. But he struggled out of the gate when he did start to play 0 for 8. But then he has picked up tremendously. But there's a good fastball thrown by him.
Pitchcast brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. So with 2 outs and Jackie Bradley still at first, here's Mitch Moreland. And Moreland takes a strike outside corner at the knees.
Yeah, Cap, we've talked about how pitchers feed off each other. How about feeding off a no-hitter? You know, if you're today's starter, Daniel Mingden, and you know, and then it's probably so great for this ball club. So many young players, but to have somebody pitch a no-hitter, you're saying, wow, I got to live up to that as a starter myself. You know, it's going to be hard to do. There's so few ever pitched in the game, and what Dallas did as a perfect game, even fewer. But once you do that, I mean, you're going to kind of set the standard for your buddies.
Yeah, probably a good guy to be close to today.
Yeah, that's right.
A little luck. Give me some of that.
That's right. Rub it off.
Come to Vegas with me, Sean Manaea.
I mean, Mingden last year in September, his first complete game was a shutout. Yeah. You know, so it's rare in today's world because of specialization in the bullpen. But the pitch count and what Sean Manaea was doing last night and what these pitchers can do, and the bottom line is a pitch count. And Melvin said with Daniel Mingden against the White Sox, he said it was going to be hard for me to let him throw more than 115 pitches. Sure. He got to, what, 106 when he gave up the home run. But last night, you have to give the skipper a lot of credit because he had Blake trying to warming up. Reluctantly, Blake was down there. But the skipper's thinking about a win. And if Hanley Ramirez, who I think that's a great comment about texting,
he did,
you know, Sean Manaea. But if he gets on, that's a tough decision for the manager because J.D. Martinez is a tying run. So it all worked out well, though. A lot of celebrations for the big man.
There's a base hit to left field. So Moreland with a 2-out hit, first and second.
Yeah, guys, you know, I talked to Bowmel briefly after the game, and he said, how do you think I feel having to try to get somebody down there in that bullpen and get them up and get them more? Because, look, I've been down in the bullpen in a situation where you've got a guy going good, and that phone rings, and you know it's your number, and you're looking around going, I ain't getting up. Not going to be me.
I thought Blake tried to said it best. He said, what if I had unleashed one and we had to call time to retrieve the ball down the left field foul line or in the, you know, and that breaks up his momentum, you know, of trying to do what he ultimately did.
So that's a good time to have your bullpens like underneath somewhere.
Underneath, or 3 guys backing up just in case. You know, forget about this side of the mound, you know, protect the pitcher, protect the catcher so he can catch everything or put a screen or something.
0-1 to Rafael Devers. And now it's 0-2. 2 on, 2 out here in the top of the first.
In a 10-day, 1-2. Martinez, 1-2. Moreland, 1-2. Devers, 0-2. I mean, you got to put them away because now all of a sudden they have 2 runners on base, but try to find a way to. He did with Martinez with a good fastball, elevated. Devers on Friday night hit that low fastball from Kendall Graven to left field. Kendall couldn't understand how he did it. In fact, you'd said earlier about how pitchers are trying to pitch more up in the zone to avoid hitters going down and taking the low pitch and getting under it. The long take.
And a swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Side retired. Red Sox strand a pair. Here come the Athletics to face David Price.
And the veteran left-hander David Price, of course, many years with the Tampa Bay Rays, signed a huge contract with the Boston Red Sox, and last year, due to injuries, pitched out of the bullpen in postseason. A's did not face him in all of 2017. Concern, of course, for the Red Sox and the nation was whenever he had to leave the game with some numbness in his fingers. Said it was cold weather, and everybody hopes that's the case.
Martinez, Benintendi, Bradley in the outfield. Devers, Lynn, Holt, Moreland on the infield. Vasquez is the catcher. So Marcus Semien steps in against the 32-year-old David Price. Semien had 256, couple of home runs, 12 RBIs. Big night last night for Marcus.
See the early setup by Vasquez. First pitch of the game for the Red Sox is supposed to be a heater in. That'll let you know that Price and Vasquez are trying to crowd this offense early.
And there's a line drive. Fair ball headed for the left field corner. And Marcus Semien will ease into second with a leadoff double.
Well, we saw it on the first pitch that he took for a strike, Foss, and he comes back with that heater on the inside, trying to get it to the inside part of the plate. Just can't do it. This one leaks back over the heart of the plate. Semien does a good job staying back, delivers the blow down the line. We got a stand-up double leadoff hitter of the game for the Oakland A's.
No, Exmo is brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort.
I'll say one thing, if you're going to pitch inside, it better be more than 90.
Oof.
And that's the problem, because the first two pitches, velocity-wise, not where David Price can top out about 94. But what we saw in the first two, and especially the elevation of the two pitches, that does not bode well for a pitcher trying to pitch inside the righties.
Well, here's Piscotty. 280 with a homer and 12 RBIs for Piscotty. He's 1 for 8 in this series.
And you can see how, of course, the A's facing an abundance of left-handers, but Piscotty moving up in the batting order. Matt Joyce, of course, leading off Semien 2. Semien leading off against back-to-back changers. Piscotty hitting the number 2 hole. Good approach, uses the whole field.
outfield defense is straight up and shallow. Benintendi in center field today with Bradley and Wright. One rolled slowly towards short. Lynn has it, throws across, one away. A productive out. Simeon goes to third with one out. Well, today in the 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go.
It's good base running by Marcus Simeon, knowing the slowness of the ball, how it was hit. And typically, a ball hits the left side, you don't advance to third, where he did. But he saw how softly it was hit, and knowing him being the shortstop himself, you don't even think about the runner going to third. You want to get the out. Infield comes in, and the hot Jed Lowry, and do not cool off.
First pitch to Jed is a little bit outside.
You know, Jed gets an off day on Thursday when he goes home.
We all get it.
Yeah, but I mean, for Jed, it's built in off days for him.
He saw that on the schedule early.
That's right. Stay Monday, flying to Seattle Monday night, so he gets some quality time at home with family during the season, which is special.
Lowry is a right-handed hitter this year, 14 hits and 33 at bats. That's a .424 average. Overall, hitting at .367. That's first. Betts, who's not playing today, is second at .366. Look at Aaron Judge up there over .330. 1-1 the count. A little bit outside. There's the big start for Jed Lowry. First in average, first in hits, tied for second in home runs. Those are ranks in the American League. First in RBIs. First in multi-hit games.
You want somebody who can carry your ball club, and Jed Lowry's been able to do that offensively and playing outstanding defense at second.
That one got a piece of his foot.
But you have to think, as most hitters will agree, that as hot as you are, you're going to run into a time in which you're not going to continue the hot streak. And this pitch fouled straight down. Jed Lowry got him on the back foot, looks like, as it followed through. Sometimes, got him on the back foot. So that would be the push-off foot for the switch hitter, heading to the right side.
Price, the 2-2 pitch, very close, but a little outside. Good take by Lowry.
This is something Price likes to do. They like to backdoor that cutter to righties. And this is what they're going for. Vasquez, we've seen Price miss arm side early in the game here with the heater and with the cutter, not able to drive that pitch to the inside part of the plate. So look for that backdoor cutter to be failed to be executed. Jed Lowry to take advantage.
3-2 pitch. Right 3 call. Lowry in disagreement with Adrian Johnson. Let's take a look at it. Maybe a high strike.
That's the concern. Well, it does come back a little bit. Starts it inside, but as Jed backs out of the way. It's knowing your umpires, and the only thing you can say, be consistent.
So he said that's high.
Yeah.
So here's Chris Davis. Obviously the defense relaxes now back to its normal spot.
The thing about the manager's seat is probably the worst seat in the house because you're ground level, but those pitches like that you can see.
Yeah, you can see up and down. You can't see in and out necessarily from that angle of the dugout. Chris Davis at .259 with 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. He's 1 for 5 in his career against Price. Davis with 6 doubles to go along with his 5 home runs. Grounds that one in the hole, and it's going to get through in the left field for a base hit. And Simeon comes in to score, and the A's have a 1-0 lead here in the first.
As we have said many, many times before, there is nothing better than a 2-out run-scoring hit.
You know it, boss, and 2-out knocks get you to heaven. St. Peter, get your tablet ready. This is what you like to see out of KD, especially with a guy like Jed Lowry, as hot as he's been in front of him. You know you're going to get pitches. They're going to have to come after you. It's about taking advantage. KD does a good job of getting the top end involved, bringing this one, raking it right through the 6-hole.
And the nice thing, too, about the base running by Marcus Semien, he got to third where you saw the dive by Devers and also Wayne Lin trying to knock the ball down. It wouldn't have made any difference. It's going to be a hit. Runner in second. It's a little bit different, but great base running by Marcus. You know, Kev, one of the things about, say, KD, he's going to hit 42 and 43, 85 home runs each the last 2 years total. There's a whole lot of at-bats. If he can do that,
right,
drive in runs with 2 outs, with a single, I mean, home runs are great, but so many at-bats that you don't hit home runs.
Sure.
And if you can do that, I mean, that makes you a 100-plus ribby man, and you know, you add the home runs on top of it. Just a spectacular season and career for Chris Davis. And he's so strong. When he makes contact, the ball goes through the infield just unbelievably quick. I mean, to the point that the infielders can dive and still can't get it.
Chapman pops this one up. The catcher Vasquez coming back, and he's got it. So the A's get an early run, and they do that on 2 hits. They'll take it. So Chris Davis picks up his 16th RBI of the season. 1-0 A's after 1 from the Coliseum. Blake Swihart to lead it off for the Red Sox, and he goes after the first pitch, fouls it back. Top of the second, A's with a 1-0 lead. Shutdown inning opportunity.
But the time in between innings for Daniel Mingden, probably too long. But he's got to wait, and the way he sprints to the mound, starts throwing immediately.
And he does not mess around.
You know, between Mingden and his side work the last week and a half or so, and Manaea and his side work the last week and a half or so, I've really seen both of these individuals, and you can even throw Kendall Graveman in there as well, really take their focus and their intent during their side sessions to the next level, and I think it is really starting to pay dividends.
Swihart fouls that one back, and the count remains 0-2.
I think if people say, well, you know, the A's going to score runs, they're playing better defense, it's all about pitching. If I'm a pitcher, I'm saying, wait a minute, I'm going to change that. And to Dallas' point about working in between starts and taking them out and working efficiently.
Daniel Mingden, last 2 starts, he's won them both.
Well, the second start, you see, he started 0-2. Second start is when he had the ball hit off his foot, stayed in the game against the Rangers, and had a throwing error on a bunt. Still able to stay in the game, and he said it's going to take a lot more than that to get me out of the game. When his right leg was gyrating the way it was because of the foot or the injury.
1-2 pitch. Foul ball. This one down the left field line.
I was thinking last night, Cap, we saw Swihart pinch hit in the 9th inning. And I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, when Dallas pitched his perfect game, there's not a pinch hitter. I think it was 27. Dallas, is that right?
Correct.
Faced all 27.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, Joe Madden, I mean, that's almost saying, all right, here's the guys that started. If anybody's going to get a hit or do something, it's these guys, not somebody pinch hitting. And Cora, of course, put Swihart up last night.
That's right. Swihart, he would have hit for Lynn, the shortstop, who's in the lineup again today.
You know, we talk about relievers coming into the game late and having to spin for strikes, meaning throw that breaking ball for strikes. For pinch hitters, you come in, you're looking to get off on a heater, something quick. So I thought it was a great visit, a great job with Luke Croy and Maniacal first pitch changeup.
So the count has worked full.
Take the afternoon off, Big Guy.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
Strike 3 call. Swihart called out.
That's right. Threw him a fastball, low curbside fastball, loading and unloading zone only. You got to make a decision and get out of here quick. And Daniel Mingan turns old Swihart into a window shopper. Low pain on the outside corner. Thanks for coming out.
Say that's a perfectly thrown fastball, and good that Adrian Johnson called it also. Because Swihart, 9 pitches in the at-bat, started 0-2 and took it to 3-2, and great 94 fastball on the corner.
Here's Brock Holt, who takes a strike. Holt playing second base today.
Swihart adds a lot to this Boston club with his ability to play different positions. Skipper Bob Melvin said he'd be a perfect National League player because he can play all over.
Chapman on the backhand. Gets up, flips it to first. Nice play. He's playing in a little bit.
Captain, we've talked about this. Everybody said it's kind of max effort, but once he catches the ball, he knows he has a strong arm. But watch this as he backhands the ball, gets up, and then just kind of flips the ball over to first base. Does not exert a lot of energy to do that. And that's kind of saving a bullet. And not a bad idea. And he had Matt Williams. And you saw Matt play and said this is a Matt just like Matt Williams. And boy, they are working together so well. Last night he hit the triple, and they were talking hitting at third base, and Matt Williams working with Matt Chapman on third base play. So that's it. I mean, if you're a veteran, that's been around the game as much as Matt Williams has, to be able to impart a lot of that information to a young player. And Matt Chapman, as we know, is like a sponge, trying to take in as much information as possible.
Oh, 0-1 to Christian Vasquez. 0-2 to Christian Vasquez. There they are.
Yep.
It's fun to have Matt Williams on the staff.
You know, the skipper's happy to have him.
How could you not?
Oh, absolutely.
Matt's done it all. I mean, we know he was a manager and obviously a coach. He's also been a broadcaster.
Yeah.
He's an all-star player. He's won a World Series. So, you know, he's covered it all.
And I still say, and talking about the '94 season with the strike shortened season, I mean, he was on pace to break the record legitimately.
Yeah, he was on
that
pace,
home run
yeah.
record, and Tony Gwynn, the late Tony Gwynn, maybe 400 possibility.
Still doesn't look right when you look at a sheet that has all the past World Series winners on it, right? 1991, and then you get to 1994 and it says no World Series.
Yeah,
incredibly strange.
It really is, and
Not a good look.
No, it is not a good
well,
one.
you know, kind of started with the All-Star game and having it in that because of running out of players, and it just, I don't know, it's changed.
Swing and a miss. Good inning for Migden. He's got 4 strikeouts through the first 2 innings. We are headed to the bottom of the second. 1-0, the A's lead. Strikeouts in a no-hitter. Dave Stewart had 12. Catfish Hunter had 11. Sean Manaea 10 last night. What do you think went through his mind last night driving home? Probably 1,000 different things.
Well, you know, you really, and the great Monty Moore sent me the interview that he did with Catfish Hunter after his perfect game. You're speechless. I mean, you really, it hasn't sunk in. I mean, you know, Dallas, and coincidentally, the A's will be going to Texas to play the Rangers as they did following Dallas Braden's perfect game. And the A's will be going tonight. But Catfish, you know, listen to that interview, and Catfish always a very talkative individual, but it was like speechless. There's just got to be so much going through your mind. And I'm sure in the case of Sean Manaea last night, who didn't think, but Catfish's perfect game. Unfortunately, both he and his catcher, Jim Pagliarone, have passed away.
But Dallas, what was going through your mind, not only the night of, afterward, or what about the next day? I mean, there just has to be a feeling of, did this really just happen?
Well, I've always said, you guys have heard me say this, I maintain that for me, it was the longest and is the longest running episode of Punk'd that they've got going out there. Someone's going to eventually come up to me and go, nope, sorry, that didn't happen, Dallas. We're taking it away. But honestly, what today is something we affectionately know in the game as a dig me day.
Yeah.
And today is spent digging yourself and tasting yourself. And I say, if you're not your own favorite flavor, well, you're eating the wrong ice cream. And there's no doubt that between Manaea and Lucroy, they've got the right flavor today.
So what you're saying is today is the day, if you throw a no-hitter, that you get up the next day and you look in the mirror and you go, yep.
That's me. I'm good.
Yep,
That's
you
right.
know what? I feel good,
Yeah.
and I look good.
That's right. You are looking good. You are feeling good. You smell a little better today than you did yesterday.
It's a dig me day.
That's right.
Everybody should have more dig me days. That one is just fouled. Gets a piece of Hunter Wendelstedt. He's okay.
Well, that's pretty good, Hunter, because you didn't see the ball Friday night down the right field line, and now you get hit. You had a controversial play.
You are all over Hunter Wendelstedt.
Well, I asked Eddie Montague, I said, what did you say to Hunter when he didn't make the call? And he said, he just simply said, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
You know.
So 2-2 the count. On deck is Pinder and then Smolinski. Reached forward, poked to right, and that's a base hit. What an at-bat for Mark Hanna. Always worth looking at the last out of a no-hitter.
Batting in the 7th position, left fielder, number 18, Pinder.
So how about this, you guys? So I'm reading about the no-hitter today, lots of tidbits, which is always fun. The hardest hit ball, exit velocity-wise, last night was the last ball.
Wow.
And he hit it fairly hard, but it didn't look like it was necessarily like a low line drive. But according to his StatCast, that was the hardest hit ball exit velocity-wise. The ball hit by Hanley Ramirez. It's an out.
That's right. Just like Dallas's perfect game 8 years ago when Cliff Pennington, the rookie, handled the ground ball and throw to first.
But as we mentioned in the pregame show, Hanley Ramirez, after the game, tweeted out, "Congratulations, Sean Manaea. You were really good tonight," which I thought was pretty cool.
You like to see that interaction. That's something that the fans always are appreciative of as well. I like to see a guy tip his cap with respect to a tremendous accomplishment.
So Pinder is called out on strike. So the strikeouts for Sean Manaea, 10 total. He had 8 swinging and 2 looking.
Batting in the 8th position.
Slider to the left hand. He's got a fastball, changeup, good slider there. Changeup was, you know, again, Scott Emerson after the game was in with Adam Roden in his video room watching some of the stuff going on, but he was just raving about the changeup thrown by Sean Manaea's last 2 starts and how it's developed into an outstanding pitch. So from a catcher standpoint, you got the 2 and 4 seam fastballs.
And that's going to be a nicely turned double play off the bat of Jake Smolinski. So 5-4-3. A's are done in the second. We're headed to the third. 1-0 Athletics. Game of the series, and he's also trying to finish up a good homestand. They're 4-1 on the homestand so far. A's come in 10-11, so if they could win today, you win a series against the best team in baseball. You get yourself back to 500, and maybe you start feeling pretty good as you head out on a 9-game road trip, and a 9-game road trip that all 9 games are against division opponents. So I think this is a big road trip coming up.
Absolutely, a huge one. And Kai, remember when A's started the series against the White Sox, you said need to play well against the White Sox, nothing against them, but you know coming in the Red Sox, they are very hot and very good. And here the A's have a chance to win the series with a victory today and get to the magical 500 mark and go from there.
Well, and it's important because, Foss, you mentioned winning those games against the White Sox. Look, let's call it what it is. That's a series that you have on your calendar that you say, we have to win this series. These are series that we have to win. And when the BOS Sox come into town, now you know you've got a measuring stick for which you can gauge your success in recency up against, and you're hitting the road into an all-division roadie. It's a big, big time right now.
Well, you have an all-division roadie. You come home for the Orioles-Astros for 6, and then you go back out for what is, I think, a 10-game trip. Is that right? 4 in Boston. So this is a tough part of the schedule for the A's where they're playing a lot of road games. It's actually 4 in Toronto. So it's 3 against the Yankees, 3 against the Red Sox, then 4 in Toronto. So
but regardless, that's 10 very tough games.
Yeah, that's East Coast, you know, 3 good teams.
And you just hope that all the bad weather that they've been having goes away by that time. That you'd like to be having some good weather in those cities.
It's a line drive, but Simeon grabs it. Lynn is retired. So that is what is coming up for the A's, and it'll run you right through the middle of May.
And you know, to Dallas's point, and you know, you always think about certain teams that you should win, but in the game of baseball, you never know what can happen on any given day. I mean, you talk about the great game of football. On any given Sunday, as the great late Vince Lombardi said, anything can happen. And it's the same in baseball. While you expect to win, the most important thing is to play at the top of your game every series, every game. And if you win, and you're supposed to, then at least you have won.
Right to Lowry. 2 outs. You know, they say if the worst team in the league, or a team that's not very good, throws their #1 pitcher, all of a sudden they become a much better team.
That's right.
Andrews Benintendi.
So 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd.
Superman, it's ready. Already changed, and he doesn't know what to do. There's no phone booths anymore. How does Superman change?
Fair question.
I mean, seriously.
Secret.
Took our grandkids to Pioneer Trail up in north of Phoenix, and there was this red phone booth. I said, "You guys know what that is?" They said, "Nope, what is it?" It's a phone booth. They were all excited. Phone booth and a payphone. Landline.
So 1-1 to Benintendi. That one just a little bit outside, maybe a little bit high.
Treehouse is hopping. Little League Day. What a thrill for a whole bunch of youngsters to be able to parade around the warning track and fill up in the treehouse, enjoying a big day.
That one is driven right center. On the move is Smolinski, and it hung up. Smolinski grabs it. Side retired. 7 in a row retired by Migden. Bottom of the 3rd coming up.
California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Nice day at the ballpark. Nice and warm and comfortable. Last chance to see the Athletics for a while. Maxwell hits a big chopper. He's retired. These will again be back home on May 4.
Now batting, number 10, Marcus.
So Maxwell's retired, and here's Marcus Semien. There's a good look at the treehouse. See, that's the key. You can just stand and hang out. You don't need to be in your seat. You see that in most ballparks now, an area where fans can walk around.
Forget about the game.
Yeah, if you want to forget about the game for a couple innings or just stay close to the game but not sit in your seat.
Just gives you some flexibility, you know. Like think about the Red Sox fans here last night. Offense not going well, not looking too good for your club. Maybe you want to go grab an adult beverage and wash away those first 9 innings.
That's a good way to look at it.
I don't think those kids playing and really, I've got the big head out there, so everything's all good. But
coming in right field is Jackie Bradley, and he takes a hit away from Semien. Nice play.
When you see what he does a great job of keeping his body low, tracking the baseball. A lot of times what happens on a ball hit hard like this, something you got to come in on, this ball can start to bounce on you. It's got a little bit of top spin. So he wants to make sure he's able to track this ball in eye level all the way through, not something where he has to turn the glove over, maybe go basket style up around the waist. One of the best doing it out there.
Yeah, he's a sensational center fielder. So my guess is he's probably pretty good in right field too.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is we talked about it last night. You got 3 center fielders. Really, it's a plug and play situation for Alex Cora.
1-0 to Piscotty. Piscotty, little flare, center field. Holt hustles back, and that's a very good inning for David Price. 3 up, 3 down. On to the 4th. J.D. Martinez will lead it off.
Season membership, great multi-game packs. Build in the package that works best for you. Affordable tickets and parking packages are available. Enjoy your summer in style. Visit athletics.com/season and enjoy Oakland A's baseball right here at the Coliseum with that ticket package. Anything's available. You call, they'll make it happy for you.
Martinez, Moreland, and Devers here in the top of the 4th inning.
It's a good young fan right there.
Yep.
Got the A's cap on, enjoying some goodies.
Very young.
And mom watching the baseball game.
1-1 the count to J.D. Martinez.
Anytime you come to the Coliseum, you get to see the big heads. Life is good.
Lemonade.
It's good too. So gets a peanuts and lemonade. You're all set.
And now it's 1-2. Kind of a hanger there by Migden. I would not necessarily throw that pitch again. Trying to help out the starting pitcher. Martinez struck out swinging in the 1st inning. That jam there pops a foul back.
Cap, you noticed it with the Tigers, but J.D. Martinez, every time he gets ready to hit, watch him take his right hand. He gets a little ritual that he does before every pitch. Watch his right hand. There, there, and there. Puts his face, his chest, points up. You know, players are superstitious. Yes, strike 3.
So that one drops in. Strike 3 call. Strikeout number 5 for Migden.
Well, he's done a great job of disrupting timing early on. I don't know if you guys are paying attention. Not the double pump.
That's right.
That we've seen, but here he again, Kipe gets away with a breaking ball, sort of up in the zone here. And take a look here. We're used to seeing 1 and then 2 right after that. He's staying solid at the top here. And that's something I guarantee is in the scouting report that's getting passed along. And when you're not seeing it up there, now it's up to the hitter to make an adjustment.
Yeah, he did that the last start, and it just seems like he slows it down at the top of his windup. And instead of doing the double pump, he just does the 1, but he's very deliberate at the top. Remember when Dan Heron pitched? I always thought that was great because he could wind up and pause, stand straight up with his left foot on the slab and stop.
I think it helped him too.
He did, and then he'd push forward. But it was just something that's so hard to do in the first place. But he did exceptionally well. But you know, any pitcher knows. Nallis talks about disrupting the timing of a hitter, and that's what a pitcher's job is to do. And if he's in a pattern of going double pump, goes single pump, as long as his catcher knows, and really the catcher just calls the sign, it's up to the pitcher out of the windup, in this case Ming, to do what he's going to do, wind up or not.
Driven towards Smolinski. Smolinski to his right a little bit, makes the catch. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. 9 in a row retired by Daniel Migden.
Interesting, Dan. The pitch one and took off his shin guard at first base. I wonder if he thought there were 3 outs. Because normally you go back to dugout and take it off, but he took it off at first base, and I'll go back to dugout. Nobody's going to notice. Maybe it was just too tight. Who knows? But he did take it off at first base, which is a little bit unusual.
So here's Devers.
And that pitch right there has been big for Migden as well. Soft early in the count, knows he's got guys coming that like to hunt the heater early.
And that breaking ball, Devers, he's a free swinger, and he chased that one. So
that's right. And right now, what Bruce Maxwell and Daniel Migden need to understand and acknowledge is that Devers has become an 0-2 Bookham guy. And what I mean is, when he steps into the box, the count is already 0-2. Go ahead and expand.
And that one is drilled foul, and that pitch was not that close to being in the strike.
Yeah. Well, he's a great low pitch hitter, and I mean low ball pitch, whatever, and any pitch. I mean, again, going back to Friday against Kendall Graveman, that low heater, ankle high, and he shot it to left field. But it's almost like I think Yogi Berra, man, is saying again, guys that don't like strikes, they like to hit everything except a strike.
That was looped toward left. Hinders there. 3 up, 3 down inning. 10 in a row retired by Daniel Migden. Bottom of the 4th coming up. It'll be Lowry, Davis, and Chapman.
mascot, Stomper. Be one of the first 10,000 fans to the ballpark Sunday, May the 6th at the 105 game against the Orioles to get your Stomper socks brought to you by Black Bear Diner, our favorite diner. Visit athletics.com/tickets to get started. I mean, if you can walk around and look like Stomper, oh, man, life is good, man. Wear them in the Black Bear Diner. Breakfast. Wear those socks in there and say, that's us.
Lowry, Davis, and Chapman here in the bottom of the fourth. This was a little pregame ceremony honoring Sean Manaea. Stomper involved.
I'm just disappointed, Stomper. That's the only thing you can give him. Just a big old 0 with a giraffe. That's all right. nice Stomper.
What'd you get for the no-hitter? Got a blow-up balloon.
But it's helium. There's helium in it.
That's true.
Yeah, you could always suck on the helium and sound like yeah. And then a giraffe. I'm sure he's what he wanted. That's good though.
So we always laugh, Dallas. Well, Ray Fosse laughs a little bit, but when Ray caught Dennis Eckersley's no-hitter, this was way back in 1977. Eck got a car.
That's right.
You know what Ray got?
A high five.
Middle of a donut. 0, nothing. That's not right. Huh?
Did Eck take you out for the maiden voyage?
Whiz.
Nothing?
No. Eck had his own issues, just pointing at the guys in the on deck. So get up here.
You didn't cruise down Euclid Avenue in Cleveland with Eck? I mean, they could have given you something. I mean, you called a good game.
You know, Eck came within about a 1 inning of breaking the all-time record for most consecutive hitless innings.
Unbelievable.
Because, I mean, he went the distance to the no-hitter on Memorial Day, but the prior game, I think he went 10. Or the last, I don't know, 8 or 9 of a 10-inning game without a hit. Then Rupert Jones took him deep in Seattle.
Yeah, when we get close to the no-hitter, we always kind of have fun with it, celebrate it a little bit. We'll look that up and get the exact story on how close he came. Well, we know how close he came, but think about that. Well, it ended up being 22 consecutive, something like that, 23 no-hit innings.
That's right.
2.5 no-hitters. 3-2 pitch to Lowry, and he could not hold up. So David Price strikes out. But you know what? We like to look at it. Check this out, Dallas. Check out the framing. Check out the framing by the catcher right here.
Number 2, Chris.
Come on.
That's money in the bank, baby.
But you know the great thing about this? They called WKYC downtown Cleveland and said, hey, X pitching a no-hitter. And that's why the only footage was what you saw of the mezzanine.
Two strikeouts.
And that was it.
Well, I tell you what, if I'm Eck, I'm turning around and running to center field. Ray Fosse comes out of the squat charging me like that.
Ray was, that was, the bull was coming.
Yeah,
man.
calm down, Fosse. What are you doing? Man, what a day. What a day.
And I still never forget the late Bobby Bonds came up and with the Angels at the time, and he said to the umpire, can you think you can get Ray at least close to the behind the home plate instead of in the left-handed hitter's batter's box? You know, because I mean, you know, that's why I say umpires like that. That kept moving out farther and farther and farther.
Yeah, but the funniest thing about that story is if you watch closely on the final strikeout, I know you were out there.
Of course.
Because the guy chased the pitch that was way out of the strike zone. Chris Davis skies one. Infield, lots of sunshine. And Moreland. And that, folks, as we like to say, was a big league pop-up.
Well, Moreland knows the sun is tough here. He's playing with the Rangers, and he knows, and he stays with it. And, you know, the fielder has a tough time, but the important thing for the hitter is to run hard, because that ball could have very easily dropped. And there's the sky, and that's what the infielders, outfielders are looking up into, and those baseballs blend right in perfectly to the point you really can't find them. And those wraparound sunglasses, while they're great, Oakley's got some great ones, but the old flip downs, we always say, are the best UVs. And you know, you look up, it's tough to really find the baseball, but you know, Gary down with Oakley's that we always see in Anaheim. Don't want to spell any of the greatness about the wraparounds. I wish I would have had them as a catcher, because didn't have them available, but because as a catcher you flip the mask off and you don't have any sunglasses at all to find the ball, it's really tough. Like the Oakleys definitely can wrap around to where they go close to your eyes, close to your face. They all look good. Can you see the ball?
The best is when they're up on their up on the brim of their cap and it's a bright sunshiny day.
Style points, guys. Style points.
That's a strike to Chapman. So 2-1 the count. Haven't said much about David Price, who's been good. Speaking of style points.
Speaking of shades.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a happy man right there. A content.
You have your umbrella?
The content
Jeez.
owner of a
Yes,
no-hitter.
sir.
See? Don't worry, Dallas. We will not let anybody take that no-hitter off. We'll make sure. All right?
I feel like I gotta wake up and check the internet every day.
Well, you know, I thought, again, it's you hate to think about it, but walking the first batter, there's no chance of a perfect game. And you know, you can go for a no-hitter in the ninth because you can always start fresh for the next batter. Benintendi, I think he saw, what, 3 consecutive off-speed pitches. And, you know, you don't have to really, I mean, to me, that's the difference. And with Dallas pitching a perfect game, you know, you get the count. I mean, he had a 12-pitch at bat. Was it Kepler? Yeah. And Longoria had a long at bat. And, you know, you have those at bats, but you're thinking, here's perfect. You know, and you go to the ninth inning.
It's double pressure.
Yeah, and because now you just say, well, do I pitch around him to get the no-hitter, or do I try to go after him, get the perfect game? And
drilled foul.
I mean, it's a nice problem to have, you know.
Yeah, it's champagne problem.
Not many guys really experience that.
But
I mean, Dallas, you know, think about it. You pitch a perfect game, you'd like to have a few years to enjoy it. Not that year.
Yeah, no.
You know. But it's the same way with Dave Stewart's no-hitter. Fernando Valenzuela on the West Coast that night did it.
Yeah, we got to talk to Fernando about that. He could have waited
at least a couple of days. Yeah.
So 3-2 to Chapman. Chapman fouled out to the catcher to end the first inning. 1-0. The A's lead. Their run came in the first.
Price is really confident with his changeup, and this is, of course, a good fastball count, and he could go either way.
Just badly.
Well, here it was, and tell you, I give Gabe Kapler a lot of credit. Last hitter, that might have been ball 4. Dallas thought it was. What do you think it was? 2-1.
Count was 2-2 in my head.
Yeah, 2-2. That's right. But it was actually 3-1. And
2-2 in your head. That's all that matters.
You know, I wanted to say what Dallas was thinking about on the way home is his grandmother's eclairs. And that's what you know. We've got to get Peggy Lindsay to get those eclairs and overnight them up here. You know, she's down in Southern California.
That's right. The request has been made.
That's right. I mean, Peggy, come on. I hope you're watching your grandson and just realize that you spoiled us.
Grounded to short. And the out is recorded at second, and the side is retired. So we're headed to the 5th. Still the A's 1 and the Red Sox 0. Blake Swihart leading it off in the 5th inning. Daniel Migden has retired 10 in a row. He's got 5 strikeouts and he has not walked anybody. So he's done a nice job. Pinder backs up and Pinder's got it. Swihart, they say, makes the right turn, heads back to the dugout.
Now batting.
Okay, we saw the young man catch a couple years ago, and as he said, if he stays healthy, he's got a chance, and he's a great attribute to this ball club because he can play different positions. But today, the DH, switch hitter.
Holt goes after the first pitch. Left field. Pinder's going to run out of room. And the fan had a shot. He had a catch to be made, and I don't believe I think he missed it. He ended up getting the ball. Yeah, the hat thing doesn't work. Hat thing doesn't work. On the ground, right to Lowry. Gobbles it up. 2 away. And here's Christian Vasquez.
Now, once again, Daniel Migden. He's
Christian
pitching with his
Vasquez.
pitch count at 65 with 2 outs in the 5th inning.
So, rust for the bullpen.
Well, that's what Bob Melvin said today after the no-hitter last night, and he's got the sheet of who's available or not. He said they're all green, which means they're all go.
That doesn't happen a lot.
No, it doesn't, and you know that's the beauty of a complete game. In this case, a no-hitter, and it's there's a certain way you set up a rotation, guys that you know can pitch deep in the game, and don't like to put those guys back to back because you want to kind of spread them out in the event you need the bullpen. And I took care about that last night.
And you know, something we're seeing right here with Migden, Vasquez just getting into the box, just getting himself ready. Migden has got the ball. He's on the rubber. He is ready to go. He is forcing the action.
Good pitch there. 2-1. So a 2-0 breaking ball.
Well, he's been a believer. Get it and get ready. And you know, if the umpires really insisted on the hitter staying in the box, the pace of game would increase dramatically.
No question.
Because especially with a pitcher like this who is ready to go, and it's the hitter taking the time. He's not supposed to leave the batter's box.
And really, just watch as a viewer at home. You're going to see Migden. Now watch Vasquez and all the stuff he goes through, which kind of drives us all crazy.
There's Migden's ready.
Yeah, he's ready. Migden could pitch right now.
Yeah. He's definitely in the 12-second rule with nobody on base. I mean, he's ready to go.
Liner fair. So Pinder will pick it up in the corner, and that's a 2-out double for Vasquez. So hit number 3 for the Red Sox, and now they have a runner in scoring position.
Well, you said it right. He went soft 2-0, and on the 3-1, challenged him with a fastball in the inner part of the plate, and that's the difference. But you know, hitters typically will look fastball in the fastball count like 3-1, 3-2, 2-0. And if you're capable of throwing something other than a 4-seam fastball, got a chance to get him out. He did it 2-0, but not 3-1.
So here's Zue Lin, the shortstop. And the Red Sox with a chance to tie it up with a base hit. Lin hit a soft line drive to Marcus Semien at short in the 3rd inning. Maxwell with the block. Red Sox still leading the American League in runs scored, 123. No, Rays have been shutting them down pretty well since about the 7th inning of Game 1.
Yeah.
After the grand slam. The Red Sox have not scored a run since Moreland's grand slam, so it's been 16 consecutive scoreless innings.
And all the runs for the Red Sox are kind of by the home run.
That's right.
3-run and a grand slam.
I tell you what, that's what a no-hitter can do to an offense. Put you in a funk.
2-1 pitch is low, and now it's 3-1 with Jackie Bradley in the on-deck circle.
Guys, I know we talked about series that teams feel like they should win as a group. This is an at-bat. Daniel Mingden should absolutely win here. The numbers against lefties, 190. Batting average against, 7 of those lefties in this lineup today. Big AB here.
Swing and a miss. 91 miles an hour with some movement.
You talk about challenge heaters. Want to locate. Looked like they wanted it away. Was able to beat him to a spot in here. Big 3-2 payoff pitch for Mingden here with 2 lefties coming up behind Lynn.
Payoff pitch. Here it comes.
Leon dancing off second base, and really he's not going anywhere, but you have to hold your position in case there's a ground ball. You don't not want to move, and it's different with 2 outs because he's going to go on contact, but I mean he's dancing probably more than anything, trying to disrupt the concentration of Daniel Mingden. He might disrupt his hitter too, moving around as much as he is.
Another 3-2. Skied on the infield. Maxwell flips the mask, and Maxwell has it. So Vasquez is stranded. Bottom of the 5th coming up. It'll be Pinder, Smolinski, and Maxwell.
All on NBC Sports California is brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company.
Looking across the bay to San Francisco, A's leading 1-0 over the Red Sox, bottom of the 5th inning. So a well-played game so far on both sides. He's not worried about it. He's got his A sticker on top of his hand. Peanuts hat, little Fernando Rodney-ish. What more could you want?
Is there a baseball game going on?
Hey, he don't know. He'll get to the lower half of that peanut by the bottom half of this inning.
I like the helmet with, was it ice cream or nachos?
Oh, yeah. His dad is crushing that.
Nachos. That's good stuff. That's what's great about coming to the yard for a beautiful day game. Get all the goodies. A little adult beverage for mom and dad. Peanuts for the kid. Got some lemonade. Oh, by the way, there's a baseball game.
Pinder rolls when foul up the third baseline.
You know, I misspoke in the top of the inning that it was not Leon, it was Vasquez who at the double in the left field. He's the catcher today. Leon caught last night.
I didn't even hear you say that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to correct my catchers.
Well, you say very few things incorrectly, so I'm just not ready. So you finish the nachos, then you go right to the head. Wow. That was fast.
I hope he cleaned out the bowl. See all the sauce dripping down his face. Oh, sugar time.
Right field line. This one ain't gonna miss. So Pinder strikes out for the second time.
Well, we talked earlier, actually, in the first inning when the fastball was about 90, trying to go inside, and this fastball registered at 93. According to our gun on the supposedly inside part of the plate, did not quite make it in where he wanted it. Got the result that he wanted, though. And that was a swing and a miss on a fastball, just enough maybe inside. And Pinder could not handle it. And David Price, after the two-out RBI single by Chris Davis in the first inning, that's pretty impressive.
Here's Smolinski. When the going gets tough, the tough get going.
But he had his best, huh?
Right center. If that's hit well, nobody's going to get it. Halfway up the wall, and Smolinski. He needed a hit.
Yes, he did. So happy for him because that is huge. And he started out playing center when Luke Powell got hurt. All of a sudden, Mark Canna started playing well. Today, Canna goes to first. Smolinski back in center. And what better way than to get back and feeling good when you take a high fastball off the right center field wall.
Be careful if you hit the Black Panther, though. That is not somebody you want to mess with. Trust me, I saw the movie. See, that's just not. Be careful.
Is that the Black Panther or is that Josh Reddick hanging out there?
It's Black Panther bobblehead coming up on the 5th of May.
Wow. Bobblehead glows in the dark, yeah.
Well, they had the globe, the Coliseum globe at the beginning of the season. That was the giveaway with the fireworks globe. Pretty neat.
One pitch to Maxwell. And now the count 1-1.
Now for Bruce Maxwell, he knew that as a left-handed hitter, potentially, well, we're going to see 3 lefties this series. Possibly 3. They're saying Doug Fisher may pitch on Wednesday in Texas, but Keuchel on Friday. So you know if you're going to play, it's going to be against a lefty that you're accustomed to facing righties more times than not.
Maxwell slices that one foul.
Guys, let's take a look at StatCast here and get a reading on that ball that Smolinski laced out to right center. Exit velo 104.1 miles an hour off the barrel. Launch angle 23 degrees. Almost 400 feet, 387 feet away from home plate and off Black Panther out there in right center.
And all the more when it leaves your bat, you know it's not going out. You're going to hustle for 2 because the ball did come off the wall very quickly. It would have been a 10-day, and you don't want to be half-stepping, trotting, thinking you hit one out when it doesn't go out.
Maxwell hits one toward left. J.D. Martinez over. Now he comes in and he makes the catch. So that's the second out.
You know, you play left field at Fenway, they come on the road, you got to be thinking, I'm going to pass track him, man. This is a big, big yard. Because Fenway, I mean, it's the monsters right behind you, and totally different when you're on the road, especially in this part.
So 2 outs, and Marcus Semien will step in. Mound visit. Adrian Johnson lets us know. Little League Day today. Those are good-looking unis. So the youngsters paraded around the field before the game.
Did you get to do that as a kid?
No.
I didn't either. You know what? And
that was not happening.
But you know, this is so special for these kids to be able to.
Jackie Bradley headed into the corner, but it's foul. No, that was not happening in Racine, Wisconsin.
But I mean, to come to a big league park and be able to walk around the warning track, and man, you look up and you say, man, this is big. I'd like to play here someday. But it's a great opportunity for the youngsters, and when we say Little League, but the youngsters, there's so many different leagues. Little League, of course, the #1, but the youngsters getting a chance to play baseball and then come out and watch the big league heroes and walk around the field, high five some of the guys in the dugout.
And now the Little Leaguers, they got to be at their game an hour before because they got to take batting practice. I got to the field an hour before to pick up the rocks.
That's right.
And that's a true story too.
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody, game's at 10, be there at 9. Great, we can play catch. No, you're going to pick up the big rocks because we're trying to smooth the field out. Seriously?
Oh, I thought you were a rock collector.
No. Pick up the rocks.
It's not even a song playing. He's got a song in his mind, man.
I'll pay you right to
Drive to right. Bradley backs up. He's got it. So Price gets out of the jam, and Smolinski is stranded at second base. 6th inning coming up. It'll be the top of the order for the Red Sox.
On the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. How about that?
See, I was excited to get up this morning and read the newspaper. I still like to read the paper.
Well, it's nice that newspapers are still available to read.
Thank you.
And you know how much smaller they are. Tell you, if you get a newspaper now, the sports section that has box scores, that's special.
Unbelievable.
Because you don't see them.
Chronicle's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you're right. Right field, shallow. Piscotti comes in. You could see Bradley was off balance on that swing.
Front.
So a big first out, and then I'll bring up Benintendi.
Well, you're right, Cap. When you change speeds effectively, he's out there and then just reached. And you know, he did it probably keeping the bat back, but he had nothing to go after the ball. And sometimes it's better not to swing. He ended up swinging. Great pitcher's pitch. It's an easy out.
Benintendi has hit a fly ball to left and a fly ball to center. So he is 1 for 9 in this series. Canna backs up, gets a good hop. Sometimes you charge the ball to get a good hop. Sometimes you take a step back if you can, and Canna just took 1 step back, get a little bit of a longer hop.
Number 28, J.D. Martinez.
Talking about an athlete here, roaming around out in center field. First few days here, he's over at the corner at first. Like I said, here you can see a good job. Takes that drop step, gives himself the opportunity to field it in athletic position. Get it over to Mington, who's covering first, like he should.
You always want to avoid that in-between hop.
Yeah. I think he could have done just one more thing to that after he caught the ball. His momentum going to the bag. Go for it. Just keep the pitcher out of the way and avoid that flip. I know pitchers are great athletes, and you know they can catch anything, but sometimes you know a ball arrives at the same time as the foot to the bag and just takes a little miscue. But you know, Canna has not played a lot at first. Yandro Alonso, when he was here, he said Joey Votto taught him that when he was with Cincinnati. Anytime you can take the bag yourself and you can avoid flipping the ball to the pitcher, you do it. But again, if you're roaming in center field, like Dallas said, and then all of a sudden you're playing at first base, you see the pitcher covering, doing what he's supposed to, get the job done no matter what.
Simeon, tough little backhand, throws in time. Nicely done. Migden rolling along. He only needed 7 pitches that inning. Bottom of the 6th coming up, 1-0 A's.
All right, Oakland, this is lifelong.
How about on this date, Dallas Braden says, get off my mound. What are you doing, A-Rod? Crossing over the mound? Come on, what are you doing? Get off my mound. Dallas was upset. That is Dallas Braden. Get out of here. You're 15 seconds of fame, and then he pitches a perfect game.
See, we laughed because we thought it was great, but I think Dallas is still hacked off about that. And I'm okay with that.
We see how close he was to the rubber.
I think, you know what, I think, and I could be completely wrong, I think he did it on purpose.
Of course he did.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
So that one rolled into center field by Piscotti, leadoff man aboard.
No, he did it. That's why I meant, get out. What are you talking about? Who are you? Well, not that long. Then the perfect game happened, but he's going to third and going back to first base. You know, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Happens to be right over the mound. And you think about it.
Simple math. Simple math by Ray Foss.
But right here, guys, boom, the cups, bam, right on the head. That's not a good look. That's not a good look. If you're going to kick cups and throw a fit, you can't wear the cup off the head back in the dugout. It's that's not a good look.
That just makes you more mad, right?
A little bit. A little bit.
Lowry hits into the 4-6-3 double play.
Because you know you're walking in, you're feeling good. Oh, you don't know what the. Oh, really? Man, come on, Dallas.
Plus, it wasn't just a single cup. It was like the five stack.
Yeah, just 4 of them rolling at me. Cool.
You know, can we do a split screen of 2010 and right now just to say, make sure you know this is the same guy? That was something. You know, we didn't know what was going on. What's Dallas kicking everything in the dugout about? And realized later. Let's see. So this is April 22nd, and then on May the 9th. So within that period of time when A-Rod said, "Who are you?" You know, just 15 seconds of fame. Well, not that long after that, the perfecto and the rest of the story.
Davis toward third. Devers backhand throws in time. So that's a 5-pitch inning for David Price. We haven't talked much about David Price, but he's been pretty good today. 1-0 A's after 6.
About the no-hitter last night by Chaminade, but this afternoon it has been Daniel Mignon get the run in the first inning thanks to a 2-out single by Chris Davis, but he has been outstanding. A couple of runners on base in the first inning with a couple of singles, but struck out a couple, and he's had all of his pitches working. Bruce Maxwell doing a good job behind the plate, so back-to-back games. So that's 6 innings of shutout baseball. No walks, 5 strikeouts. 5 ground outs with the 8th fly ball out. So good outing so far for Daniel Mignon. And when you're pitching with a 1-run lead, you're doing something.
Moreland, Devers, Swihart. That one's tapped up the first base line, and it's just foul. We like that group. Our fine producer, Delaire Lawars, that's his lovely wife, Shannon, and the 2 boys, Cameron and Adrian. Cameron and Adrian on the left.
Yeah, nice jumpsuits.
Delaire dressed them themselves before he came to work.
That's right. That apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, that's the way Delaire comes to work sometimes when he's so tired and puts the shades on, sneak a nap. No, that's not true.
You know what? Those
two
guys,
cute little guys sitting on mom's lap.
But you know what? Those guys were sitting and say, "Hey, man, we're cool. We're on TV." Huh?
Yeah.
We woke up this morning and said, "Hey, let's dress this way."
They looked in the mirror and went, "Yep, yep." Dig me day. Hang in there, Shannon.
That's right. The boys are looking at, who are those guys?
Who's going for Mom of the Year? Pitch, and it almost hit Moreland. 1-2 the count. Moreland a single and a fly ball to center field. Full shift on for Moreland. And he lines one toward right center field. That'll get down for a hit. So Moreland never surprised when he gets a hit.
And left the ball up and a little bit of a wrinkle on it.
Now batting baseman, number 11,
just kind of happy.
Devers.
Like an off-speed changeup maybe that came back towards the middle of the plate but stayed up, and he is Babe Moreland. Now you keep him as a base hit, which he has 2 singles today, you're happy. Even happier last night that he didn't play.
Here's Devers in the dirt. Astros won again. They sweep the White Sox 7-1 the final in Chicago. So Houston has won 6 in a row. They're now 16-7. White Sox have now lost 7 in a row.
If you take the starting staff, we saw the White Sox here for 3 games. The A's coming back near a 6-hour game on Wednesday to come from behind and win. Take the starting staff of the Astros. You had Verlander for a year and Garrett Cole. I mean, that's a pretty good starting staff to throw at a team that really not. I mean, they're going to be good. The White Sox will be good, but sometimes you have to go through tough times.
Yep.
They're going through it.
Well, the Astros certainly do.
Yeah.
McCullers got the win. McCullers is their 4th starter.
You guys think about what Charlie Morton has done.
Yeah, he's their 5th starter.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing too. Each one of those guys are pitching well. So Verlander, Cole, Keuchel, McCullers, and Morton. And then Peacock you just kind of throw in there whenever you need him.
Yeah,
so,
right. Yeah, hey, go to the bullpen. If we need you, we'll bring you in.
And the A's will be in Houston next weekend to see the Astros for the first time. Devers swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. So they count 2-2. The Rangers are leading the Mariners 5-4 in the 8th inning in Arlington. We'll see the Rangers tomorrow night. Rangers got Delino DeShields back off the disabled list. DeShields was hurt early on and going to be their leadoff man and center fielder, so the A's will see him back in that lineup. Outside. So it'll be Cahill and Moore the lefty. That'll be tomorrow night. Triggs, Hamels on Tuesday. Graveman, and as Ray mentioned, it looks like it's going to be Pfister now on Wednesday. It was originally Minor, is that correct?
Mike Minor. That was the 7 consecutive lefties that were scheduled to pitch starting with this series, and then Keuchel next Friday in Houston.
Devers flares one toward left, and Pinder's going to play it on a hop. He knocks it down. Well, that's a tough decision for an outfielder because you certainly are thinking about diving for it, but if you don't catch it, it may be a run in a tie game.
Yeah, and you can see here Devers staying inside the ball, drives this thing to left. As tough as it's got, it looks like it's got a little bit of a topspin angle on it. Started to sink down, oddly enough, coming off the bat of a lefty here. But to your point, you let this thing bounce in front of you, knock it down, keep it in front. You've still got the double play in order. You don't have runners, multiple runners in scoring position, or even the chance that Moreland comes around and scores and ties the ball game.
Well, Bob Melvin's got to be concerned about one thing, and that's the elevation of the pitches from his starting pitcher. I mean, 8 innings in his last start, 106 pitches, and he's now at 94. And at the corner, Matt Chapman with the angle looking at second base, but also thinking Swihart might be running, and that might be a good thing to be thinking about.
And he's not bunting, and it's a strike. Swihart is a switch hitter. On deck is Brock Holt, a left-handed hitter. But remember, you start thinking about bringing a lefty in or whatever, they have Ramirez, Nunez, and Betts on the bench. Swihart dribbles one out in front. Maxwell has it. He's going to throw the third. Got him there.
What a great play by Bruce Maxwell, calmly knowing just get the lead runner one out. Ball topped in front of home plate. Like a bunt and a bad one, but time calmly picked it up and throwing. Chapman thinking about maybe two. And boy, you have to concentrate. You cannot be looking up and reaching down with the bare hand to pick up the ball. Sometimes it's better just to scoop the ball into your bare hand with your glove, or at least put two hands down. But Bruce got it nicely. Ball not that far out in front, and perfect throw to third base.
So first and second, one out for Holt. Holt takes outside. On deck, Christian Vasquez, right-handed hitter.
That's a great job by Bruce Maxwell. That's a play that you have to anticipate happening. Yeah. That's the only way that play gets made, is you've gone over it in your head, you've anticipated it, you've made it 1,000 times, and then when it comes to fruition, you're able to bounce and let the instincts take over.
Just a touch low. Very close pitch. Holt took it 2-0.
Well, one thing, Dallas, to your point, in a situation like this, a catcher gets up in a position that really anticipating a possible bunt. So being up in a position to come out from behind the plate instead of being back on your haunches and then trying to rush everything. He was ready, anticipating perhaps a bunt occurring, even with the one strike. Didn't happen, but he's ready to go anyway.
Down the left field line, Pinder hustling over. Pinder into foul territory, and he slides in. He did not come up with it. Let's make sure he gets up. There's a lot of stuff going on down there.
Yeah, like help from at your own bullpen, and ball slicing off the bat of the left-hander Holt, and going into the slide, just missed it. And it's tough as a bullpen guy. I see Santiago Casilla there, and he gets up after the fact. I got chairs, and you know, and there's a reason that new parks have bullpens out of play. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about chairs and bullpen mounds and all those things.
Two and one. And that one's not close. So you see, you got chairs, ball bags, fans, towels.
I think that's Phil Pohl, bullpen catcher. He actually got on the way as soon as he saw the ball. He started running towards the bench, but it's a long run for an outfielder. He just could not come up with it.
Petit's ready in the bullpen. Pitch number 101 coming up. And Holt fouls it back. So now you got a full count. The runners, Devers at second, Swihart at first. What do you think, Ray? Would you start him if you're Alex Cora?
You know, with Moreland, he faked. He did not run, and that's when the base hit, the Devers hit. But it's different now because you have a little more speed on the bases, and it could be something. The only problem, see how far Chappie's off third base, and he'd have to hustle to third base. They're kind of playing somewhat of a shift with Holt, but not a bad time to run.
They do not go, and the ball's lined into right field, a base hit. Here comes Devers. He's going to score. Swihart to third, and Holt comes through with a huge hit for the Red Sox.
Well, Holt got his pitch. Turns on this fastball. They wanted this away. This thing comes back over the heart of the plate. Inner third, actually, and Holt does a good job of turning on this. We had talked about the speed on the base pass. Stevens at second in scoring position. He's going to score easily.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake
Your
experts.
attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the pitch for the Athletics.
I started elevating the pitches in this inning. A couple of hits and in the double. Got a great fielder's choice. So Yusmeiro Petit, infield playing in. And see if he can come through with some magic in this half inning.
It's Vasquez, the hitter, and he pops one. Right field shallow. It's going to head into foul territory. Canna makes the catch. So Petit throws one pitch and gets a huge out. And a very nice play by Canna.
You know, the one thing you do on a play like that, Mark Canna, again, not playing a lot of first base, but as he's going after the ball, he's thinking one thing. Runner at third base, he's tagging. I need to catch the ball. As soon as I do, spin, throw the ball back in, and he does that perfectly. Catch the ball first, but immediately thinking right there, spin, throw, get it in there, keep the runner from third at third. Just let him stay there. So nice play by Mark Canna, and that's a huge out.
So 2 outs. Here's Zoe Lin, the shortstop.
Think about how important it was to have Mark Canna out there in center field the last couple days. Got him over at first, makes that play over his shoulder. He understands.
Inherited runners. Stranded 1. He's inherited 6. So that'll get a lot better.
Yeah, hopefully right now.
Buchter starts to throw.
Remember, the A's only have one lefty in the bullpen, and he is throwing right now in Ryan Buchter. And Bradley blew up following this lefty.
There's a strike on the outside corner.
And again, you see the runner at third base and good speed, Swihart. And as soon as he caught that 360 coming down the line, he sees the throw coming in, not going to run into an out. That's just a great play by Mark Canna.
Petit ahead in the count, 0-2. Got him swinging. Lynn chased. And what a job by Yusmeiro Petit. So 1 run for the Red Sox, 7th inning stretch. We're all tied at 1.
or Black Panther. Oakland A's and Marvel are proud to release a glow-in-the-dark Black Panther bobblehead in honor of Oakland and hometown director Ryan Coogler. Fans can snag this one-of-a-kind bobblehead Saturday, May the 5th. That's against the Orioles, brought to you by Comerica Bank. One of 15,000 fans should get yours upon entering the ballpark. Visit athletics.com/promotions. Grab your piece of Oakland history. Oh, that's mean. Talk about mean. How about 4 pitches for Yusmeiro Petit? Pop up, strike out.
Big outs. So a 1-1 game, bottom of the 7th.
You know, Cap, let's not forget Yusmeiro Petit was away. His mother had some issues and went back. Maracaibo, Venezuela is not an easy place to get to from California to go back to be with your mother. So he just got back, and we wish his mother well at home in Venezuela. Maracaibo on the western portion of Venezuela, know it well. The home of some pretty good players. Let's go Rockets on the eastern portion. So Yusmeiro Petit, 2-year contract. That's 2 big outs, and Daniel Mingman, of course, the happy pitcher. They have a couple of runners, second and third. Petit, 2 big outs to get out of the inning. Luis Aparicio from Maracaibo.
Louis Aparicio, Hall of Famer.
Yep. Used to make that trip from Valencia to Maracaibo in a plane.
How was that?
Well,
smooth.
It was, you know, Jim Holt would go up. The pilot would have the window open, wiping off the windshield.
That's not good. That's not good. That does not happen on our charter flights.
No, no, no. That was not a jet. But Jimmy would come back and he started saying, "I don't know, guys." And there'd be a lot of guys saying a rosary, you know.
That's not good.
Oh, there's Ricky.
2-2 the count to Chapman from David Price, who's only thrown 74 pitches. We've not talked about Price too much, but he's pitching a heck of a game.
I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to take a look at StatCast right now. That nice play over at first base by Mark Canna. Utility. It's not center field right now. He looks like one, though. Trailing, tracking, ball over his shoulder. The wherewithal to spin, make a throw to keep him at home. Keep him at third, excuse me.
Now that's a big play because, first of all, you get an out instead of giving a hitter another swing. Never knowing what's going to happen with the infield end. And make the play as well as he did. That's a great play.
There's a strike. 0-1 to Canna, who singled and is grounded out. Canna 3 for 8 in the series. He does have a 6-game hitting streak. 8 hits and 20 at-bats during that 6-gamer. Coming in is Bradley. Benintendi over there. It's going to be Bradley who grabs it. So that is out number 2. David Price, this is since 2010. Tied for 5th in the big leagues in wins, 13th in starts, 9th in ERA, 5th in strikeouts. He's in his 10th year in the big leagues, aren't David Price? Remember, he was the first overall draft pick by the Rays.
Out of Vanderbilt University.
He's got an interesting decision to make if you, again, champagne problems here. This is year 3 of his 7-year contract. Huge contract he signed. He has an opt-out after this year, which means a player can say, you know what, I don't want the final 4 years of my contract because I think I can get a better contract. Don't know that he will or won't, but he has a decision to make. Pinder shoots one through the right side.
If I were David Dabrowski, the president, I would not be waiting breathlessly by the phone.
No.
Because I don't think it's going to ring.
What it comes down to is
Now batting center fielder.
doing a pretty nice job after striking out his first 2 times.
Well, going to opposite field, that 0-1 pitch, and the key there is just wait back and don't think about trying to get out in front and pull the ball and take what's given to you.
So here's the financial numbers. Dallas, tell me what you think. David Price has 4 years, $127 million left on his contract. So basically, if he were to opt out, he would do that with the thought that he is going to get a better contract going back into the free agent market, better than 4 years, $127 million. I don't think that's going to happen, which means he probably won't opt out.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think the market really snapped the heads around of a lot of free agents, obviously this year, and some guys with free agency pending, looming, coming next year. You're talking about making $30 million a year.
Yeah, stay put and enjoy yourself, right? You know? So Price has been very good through 7 innings. He'll make the right decision. It's a 1-1 game after 7.
Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Beautiful look at the Port of Oakland, a very busy place always. Top of the 8th, the Red Sox and the A's all tied at 1. So more great pitching on both sides today. Price, Migden, the starters. A's are now into their bullpen. Buchter comes in. He faces a couple of lefties to start, Bradley and Benintendi. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. 11th appearance for Buchter, so he's been busy. Most times, if you're the #1 lefty on your team, you are going to appear in a lot of
Especially not your only lefty.
Canna goes to left field. Olson goes to first base. So Pinder is out of the game.
It's almost like a double switch.
Well, Olson hitting in Pinder's spot. So 1-2 the count. Bradley a single, a ground out, and a fly ball to right field. He is 2 for 9 in the series. Buchter this year against left-handed hitters, they're 4 for 20 against him. Hit very high and very foul. The crowd today is a good one, 29,804. So it's been a nice series this weekend against the Red Sox, and the crowds have been good. 23,000 on Friday, 25,000 last night and 29,000 today.
Right.
So much better numbers.
I mean, who wouldn't want to be out of the game like today in this beautiful weather? This is
Right? Not too hot.
Be down there like Dallas Gray with the umbrella.
Inside.
We got to talk to the fans who were here last night and didn't understand their role. You've got to come back today.
Right.
We've
It's
got
true.
the same seats.
Keep it
We've
the
got
same.
We've got to do it all.
I'm in the same spot.
So am I.
Right. We're doing what we're supposed to do to keep it going. Swing and a miss. Chase the slider.
Well, Buckner's guy is going to come in and use that fastball. Going to start things off with the heater here, but once he gets ahead, you know you're going to get that breaking ball. That's just a good job down in the zone, borderline strike call anyway. JBJ just comes up short.
One thing I like about Buchter, of course, nobody on base, but he can hesitate, he can pause, he can do a lot of different things, and again, back to disrupting the timing of the hitter. And he curls a leg, and then he can come right at you and do a lot of different things. And man, it's tough if you're a hitter to try to figure him out. The thing that he does know right now, as Bob Melvin looking at his lineup sheet, is that Buchter's the only lefty, and right now he's using him for Bradley and Benintendi, like trying to getting loose, perhaps for the right-handers to follow, and endeavors after the two.
Well, what you're hoping, if you're Bob Melvin, is that you can use Buchter now against two good hitters in Bradley and Benintendi, and you won't see those guys again in the game. That's what you hope.
Yeah, you're hoping to score and see if Buchter is in just to get these two outs and then turn it over to Blake Treinen.
2-1 the count. Benintendi's 0 for 3 today and 1 for 10 in the series. That one hit very high, just down to our right, second level. No, not quite.
Well, one part of the game that's really changed, we're looking at right now with get a couple of lefties back to back. You got specialization in the bullpen. You got a lefty coming in. Get on the past, guys who go deep in the game, and you're facing the same pitcher maybe 3, and you hope 4 times. Now you're lucky to face him twice, maybe 2 to 3 times through the batting order, depending how the pitcher's working. But here's a perfect example. As a left-hander, you're facing a right-hander, and all of a sudden here comes a lefty throwing 98 out of the bullpen with a hard slider.
A little bit high, so now a full count. J.D. Martinez. After Martinez, Moreland. Moreland, of course, a left-handed hitter. Like the hot cold sheet there.
Oh yeah.
And he missed, so that'll frustrate Buchter.
The manager gets going, and think about Blake Treinen. He's not just a specialist as far as right-handers are concerned. He's going to face one in Martinez, but to your point about Moreland coming up afterwards.
So back to the bullpen as Buchter faces 2 hitters. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service.
Toyota, designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity, X1 will change the way you experience TV.
So it is the top of the 8th inning. The Red Sox have Benintendi at first base, 1 out. The giveaway from Friday night. So here is Blake Trinan to face J.D. Martinez. Trinan last pitched in the extra inning game on Wednesday, and he threw 44 pitches. He has not pitched since then.
You saw the note there, 6 games. 5 out of 6 of those games, guys, have been 1+ innings. 3 innings, 1 1/3, 2 innings. So he'll go get you a couple outs.
And not bad for a starting pitcher who can come in and throw 100 out of the bullpen with a hard slider. And you have a closer and go multiple innings, and he's capable of doing it.
And a quick 0-2 to J.D. Martinez, who has struck out twice and grounded to short.
Back-to-back hard sliders with a hitter looking fastball.
Martinez in this series is 0 for 6. Roll foul. Benintendi's got good speed, and he can steal a base. So that is something to keep an eye on if you're the Athletics. He's got just a couple steals this year. Benintendi last year had 20 steals. He was 20 for 25. Martinez looked like he went, and they're going to check. No, says Trip Gibson.
Got to do it immediately, man. You got to immediately put up the hand for the peel swing, peel on it, and he was fooled. It's a swing. That's a big time swing. That's why you hold it and see Bruce Maxwell holding, but you got to immediately point to first base. Get that reaction immediately. You do not want to give a chance to the umpire to really, I mean, catch him quickly. Maybe he'll go with you, and that was a swing. He definitely was fooled.
Runner goes, and the ball's fouled straight back. So on 1-2, Benintendi takes off.
1-2, probably anticipating another slider somewhere down in the dirt. Might be a ball in dirt opportunity for for Benintendi to get over there to second without a throw.
See, the outfield shifted a little bit toward right center. Canna well off the line left. He's a long ways off the line. Good lead at first by Benintendi. Pickoff throws usually come from the dugout, right?
Yes, he did. Maybe to see if Benintendi is doing anything that would indicate. I mean, it's got a pitch out, which is rare that you see pitch outs anymore.
Not running. Swing. There it is. He struck him out. Martinez strikes out for the 3rd time.
Well, after a bevy of breaking balls here, Trinan goes back to the strength, which is 97. Looks like a 4-seamer here. He just stuck on the outside corner, trying to eliminate any sort of that back whip action, that run. That's what it was. Just a great job of sticking that 4-seamer firm, glove side. Doesn't give JD an opportunity to get the bat on the ball.
So 2 outs, and here is Moreland. Moreland is 2 for 3.
Well, you talk about a perfect pitch. What's the final one? Should have had him struck out on the check swing. Did not get the call, but goes back to a 97 heater. And the thing that Martinez has shown in this series, you throw him a good fastball, he's not catching up to it. And Blake Trinan has an exceptional fastball at 97. 92, 93, he was swinging through.
Moreland missed that one.
Tell you right there, aggressive early on the heater. You saw it out of the hand, but clearly didn't finish tracking this pitch. Something to pay attention to there, Maxwell.
Moreland with 3 hits in this series. He's 3 for 7. Guess it just would not surprise me if he took off.
You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Moreland, of course, has power, but this one from second on a single is a heck of a lot easier than trying to think about a home run. So you're right. And typically closers do not have great moves, but trying to get it across from his catcher through the dugout and trying to keep him close.
And there he goes. Swing and a miss. Throw to second base is late. Pretty good jump by Benintendi. You know, and he had seen the move from Trinan enough where you could tell he got a good break.
Well, he got a great jump and head down, straight steal all the way. Interesting thing about this, look who's taking the throw. Chapman at second. Jed Lowry was sprinting over to third base because with the shift, there's nobody over there. So heads up play by Jed to head over. But now Chapman has to play a little bit closer to third, but still, you know, at this point, fortunately, there are 2 outs.
0-2 pitch. And got him swinging. Bad ball down and in. Hayes will take it. Runner stranded. And the bottom of the 8th is coming up.
It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
All right, game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 1-6-0 for the Red Sox, 1-6-0 for the A's. Price has been great. Migden was great. A's got their run in the first. Red Sox got their run in the 7th. Bottom of the 8th inning. David Price still out there. And he's only thrown 81 pitches, so he's in a pretty good spot there. The most he has thrown this year in any game is 91. So he's going to face Maxwell, Simeon, and Piscotty. Here's Maxwell with a ground out and a fly ball to left field. Shift is on for Maxwell. And now it's 2-0. Holt is the second baseman who now out in shallow right field, so they do it a little different than the A's do it. Maxwell on a 2-0 pitch, fouls it to our left. Warming up in the bullpen is Carson Smith. So Alex Cora keeping a very close eye on David Price. One bounced over the mound. That's Devers, the third baseman who was playing at the shortstop spot.
Every time you get a ball left field, that would have been it, because there's only Devers on the left side. But Price pretty good at trying to force the hitter to hit the ball into the shift.
So now to the top of the order, Marcus Semien. Marcus Semien is 1 for 3. He doubled and scored in the very first inning. Devers, third baseman, comes in even with the bag, which is, I guess, interesting. You don't see Marcus Semien bunt a whole lot for a base hit.
Especially with a lefty throwing and ball coming into Marcus, they could hit the ball past him instead of being back where he should be. Maybe a ball does get by.
And there's a base hit to right field. So Marcus Semien has his second hit today.
Talk about Devers taking the bunt away over here at third base side. Semien says, that's fine. I've got my eyes out over the heart of the plate anyway. I'm going to get a pitch out there. I'm going to drive to right center, just like you see here. It's a good job by Semien to continue to stay back. We talk about these guys in this lineup starting to swing well, string ABs together here, starting to funnel right into the guys that are really hot.
So Piscotty steps up. Go ahead run at first base with 1 out. Piscotty was looking for a 2-run shot.
You know what I'd like to see is the A's get a runner in scoring position and let Jed Lowry come up, because this has been a day that he probably has never seen this year.
0 for 3.
0 for 3, the couple of strikeouts and a double play. So he's due. His former team pitching him a little bit more carefully today than teams have so far in the first 21 games for the A's. Jed Lowry waiting. Third spot. Struck out with the runner at third base in the first inning. Popular jersey number 8 for Jed Lowry.
That one grounded fair, knocked down by Devers, and he's going to hold on to it. Devers knocked it down, which is a huge play, if nothing else.
Second and third and 1 out would have been the result of this ball had it gotten past it. Well, Devers going to his right and just smothering the ball enough. And forget about coming up with the ball, because he knocked it down, hit the heel of the glove as he went in the dive, and Hunter Wendell's making the call. Hunter better get out of the way. They might have hit him again. On Wednesday, Jed Lowry, 8th inning. A's all the way back from 6-1 deficit, and Jed Lowry did this against Avalon. Down the left field line, 3-2 pitch, and at that point the A's had the lead. Unfortunately, they would lose at the top of the ninth and take 14 to win it. But they did win. But coming back from a 6-1 deficit in a game, to your point, that they did it early. It was an early deficit, and they came back and won.
1 RBI in 7 straight games.
He's due.
Semien at second, Piscotty at first. First pitch to Lowry is down and away.
Cap, one thing, you look at Piscotty at first base with the first baseman rolling way off the bag. With Ricky, of course, the first base coach watching. Piscotty's getting a huge lead off first, and that's important with a ball that might be hit in the hole, and the only play to go to second base for the force, way out beyond the cutout, with the sprinters set up to take off on a ground ball.
screen above the Red Sox dugout. 1-1 the count.
Seagulls are getting spoiled with a quick game so far in this series. They're coming out early today. There they are.
Waiting.
Well, look at that. Piscotty lead 18 feet off first base. That's a huge lead, and he's got his look towards second base.
And the only thing he really needs to be careful of is some type of play after the pitch, which at this point in the game, I don't know that that's going to happen.
Well, as far as Moreland's off, and that's what Al Pedrique, the first base coach, he's watching Moreland. And in the event there is a planned pickoff, I mean, he can start screaming at Piscotty if he sees Moreland start to break. So Al Pedrique, the veteran coach for the Athletics, at first base for the first time in his in the A's uniform anyway.
Lowry check swing.
When as a left-handed pitcher facing a righty with guys in scoring position, you know you've got your first baseman back behind. One thing also to be cognizant of, if you're Al Pedrique, is a potential hybrid pitch out from the lefty here with Vasquez and a snap pick, Moreland creeping behind.
And Al Pedrique actually has the angle. He's way back, so he can watch the pitcher, the catcher, first baseman, the base runner. So he's at a good angle to watch all of those. And that's the important thing about being a first base coach. See where he is. He can see everybody from there. Not in the standard area of the first base coaching box.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Kept it away from Lowry.
Yes, he did.
Well, he kept away from Jed, and he kept with the velocity as well. I think Jed might have been sitting looking for something a little softer. Oh, well, it's 88. It's that backdoor cutter we talked about. Just does enough work to come back over. Look appetizing for Jed. Just comes up short.
KD did it in the first inning. Got a 2-out base hit. It's going to take it now to A's take the lead again.
Davis 1 for 3 combined. First pitch is belted, and the A's have the lead. So Chris Davis, a mistake from Price. He has not made a lot of them, but he did there, and Chris Davis cashes in with a 3-run homer.
Well, Chris Davis, only home run against a lefty this year. Alex Wood in Los Angeles, that was to right center. How about this? Crushed by Crush, and David Price knew it. And Chris Davis to left field. And rare in a sense that, yes, he has power. Rarely does he go to left field, but he got the launch angle on that one. And Dallas, I can't wait for you to see the StatCast on this monster shot.
You know
left field.
You know it, boss. I tell you what, we talked about it at the beginning of the game. David Price, first pitch, trying to go inside. He was missing arm side. That happened throughout the course of the game. He had one big AB here against Crush. Davis tried to go heater in, didn't get it all the way in. Exit stage left for the crush out.
And you look at his home run starting against Garrett Richards, left center. Then he goes right center, center field, left center, left field. And that is Chris Davis. And, you know, the angle of the bat, we're talking about the launch angle. I mean, he's hit 85 the last 2 years. Now you count another 6 this year. But that is a tremendous swing by Chris Davis.
Well, we talked about it, boys. You know it, I know it. Fastballs in real estate, location, location, location. And KD, if you can't figure it out, he's going to pick a location for you. And more often than not, it's on the other side of the fence.
And Dallas, that was an 87 cap. I think it was a cutter trying to get cut in and stayed in the middle of the plate. And you throw 87 to a power hitter, and there is Chris Davis right there. The 3 that he has hit. And then the 1, but I mean, he's a tremendously powerful hitter. And he has 4 today, all coming with 2 outs, and nothing better than a 2-out run scoring hit. But how about a 3-run home run for Chris Davis? Huge.
So here is Matt Chapman. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. It is Carson Smith for appearance number 9. I believe we said this in the White Sox series. There's nothing better than taking the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning.
That's right.
This one may fall. No. Bradley showing off that speed. A monster hit for Chris Davis. A 3-run homer with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the A's now lead it 4-1 as they go for the series win over the Red Sox. Win. Captain Crush indeed. Good time for a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning with the game tied at 1. It's beautiful. So Trinan to face Devers, Swihart, and Holt. See, I know it's not possible, but wouldn't it be great if you're Trinan and you could get a win and a save? Because if anybody deserves a win and a save, Dallas, I think it would be Blake Trinan. He struck out 2 in the 8th with a runner at second base.
Yeah, you're not hearing any complaints from me. If we're compiling stats for the pitcher, I'm all in.
Sure.
But you know, let's go back to the 7th inning with Yasmir Petit. After this good strikeout. Now for the Chrysler drive of the game. Hey, guess what it's going to be? How about this 3-run home run, the drive of the game? Cutter, missed. Look at David Price says it all. He knew it. If you don't get it in there, cost him in the 1st, cost him in the 8th. And Chris Davis, a 4 spot today. 2-out hits, a single, and a 3-run home run. That's big time there. I think he's handling the DH role quite well.
He likes it.
Something that's not necessarily that easy, but he's done a very good job with it. Game number 22. The A's hang on. They get to 500. What an accomplishment considering this homestand and playing this team of the weekend.
1-0 pitch to Swihart. Up the middle. Grabbed by Trinan. He spins around. Underhands to first. 2 away. But Trinan, it looked like when he spun around to head to first, it looked like maybe his knee got locked a little bit. It just looked a little funky. So this is not really what we want to see at this point.
Let's hope it's a cramp. But he made the play. The PFP's paid off here as he reached back and caught it. What if he twisted it as he caught the ball?
Yeah, I think you're right. He twisted it as right after he caught it.
Yeah, you watch that left leg.
Or during the catch, maybe.
Yeah, it's not right there. You see the angle in which his knee is still north and south here, but his torso starts to move.
So he had to go that way to feel the ball.
Well, and also those cleats stick in the dirt.
Sure.
The only thing moves is your knee instead of with the ankles. And we think back to Pinder hyperextending his left knee because the grass gave a little bit instead of the cleats sticking in. Well, this is adrenaline, folks. This is, and let's hope it's okay because Pinder stayed in the game. And Blake Trinan is very important in this ball club, especially capable of doing what he has done. And Petit, Buchter, Trinan, and Bob Melvin putting his hands against his hip saying, no, don't need this. And it is his landing foot. Pushed off with the right, lands with the left.
And here's Brock Holt. Holt takes a stride.
Oh, by the way,
Adrian Johnson.
Just an easy 98 after at first. Gotcha. Fortunately, it took the warm-up tosses, but he's getting some activity just in case.
Holt scooped and then missed by Simeon. So we'll see what the ruling is on that. Either way, Holt's aboard.
Well, cue shot to Marcus Simeon.
Now batting, number 7, Christian Lawson.
You said about Canna, sometimes you wait back.
Got to make a decision.
Yeah, and he charged, trying to get the short hop. Ryan Daw heats up quickly just in case. Remember, it was Wednesday after Jed hit the home run in the 8th inning, trying to get the first 2 outs and then double single, game tied. So unfortunately, the twist to the knee doesn't help in this game.
Something to keep an eye on. Mookie Betts is in the on-deck circle. This pitch to Vasquez is a strike. Got to get this guy. Mookie Betts is not a big guy, but he's looming in the on-deck circle. Swing and a pitch in the dirt. So 0-2, trying to finish it.
It's a great job by Trinan. Oh, just bury it, baby. Let Maxie go to work for you back there.
Holt is the runner at first. Olsen playing behind him. He goes. 0-2 pitch is in the dirt. So Holt will go to second. '20th pitch coming up from Trinan. That one to the backstop, right back to Maxwell. So Holt wisely stays at second. No need for him to try to do anything else.
No, it's exactly right. You're down 3. Your run's not important. And for Blake Trinan, just trying to get through it. This ball just held on a little bit too long. The pitch he had thrown for a second strike right towards the middle of the plate, straight down. Nice block by Maxwell. This one just overcompensated, tried to throw too hard, and ends up going to the backstep.
Crowd on its feet. Over 29,000. And that one just off the plate. 98 miles an hour, and it's a 3-2 count.
How did he not swing it? That's definitely off the plate, but man, that close. How did you get a 98 and not pull the trigger?
There's Betts. Payoff pitch. Here it comes. And that one rolled foul right behind catcher and umpire.
Just enough to stay in the fight. Does Vasquez get it here? Take another look here from the side. 90 miles an hour, guys, just boring down. Bottom drops out. Tough to get a nibble.
Trinan long look in. And the pitch. Bounced. Foul. Chapman grabs it. So a good battle here with the game on the line. A's leading 4-1. Trinan delivers. And this one's popped up. Shallow right. Lowry fighting the sun. Olsen, and it is caught by somebody.
Olsen.
Doesn't matter who, because this ball game is over.
Olsen's the taller man.
Matt Olsen, the tallest of the 3, makes the catch, and the A's win the series.
You know, Olsen called it. He put his hand up. Piscotty coming in, and the big tall one just kept going out and got it. And what a way to finish. As Olsen, Piscotty coming in, and Tubley. Olsen little back pedal. But like you said, it didn't matter who caught it. Somebody caught it. And Blake Trinan is the winner. And let's hope he is able and is okay.
So the A's wrap up a 5-1 homestand, and they get to the 500 mark. Road trip coming up next. 2 hours and 45 minutes in front of 29,804. Good weekend of baseball for the Athletics. They defeat the Boston Red Sox and win the series today. Final score of 4-1. Coming up after the break, it's A's post-game live. So stick around, keep it right here on NBC Sports California.